Hello, Master Duel Central. How's it going, guys? So we have a new ban list, and oh my god, no more barrier statue. Thank you, Konami. I don't like saying thank you, Konami, but here I feel like I have to say it. Like, seriously, that barrier statue is going to switch up the meta a lot, because now we don't really have to play around not being able to special summon or stuff like that. So it does a pretty huge difference, changes the way things are going to be, and I definitely think it's going to turn Floowandereeze into much less of a threat in the upcoming format. Not saying they're going to be bad or anything, but I do think it's going to change things around a bit. So last time I think I had them either at top, I'm pretty sure I had them at top tier because that's what they were. They were definitely, and by the way, my tier lists are only for ladder. Like, I don't do tier lists for tournaments, for best of 3 or anything. We're talking strictly ladder here. I think Floowandereeze was top tier last list, and just to like set the stage here, I'm putting them in tier 2 mostly because I don't want to like look like an idiot if they're still seeing a lot of play. Like, I'd love to just say, oh, they're gonna suck, they're gonna be just playable. So maybe they'll be less than tier 2, but I don't really want to take that risk. They still have a lot of great options even without the barrier statue. They're still a really great deck. So I think tier 2 for now is a pretty safe bet. And moving on, we've got Branded Fusion, Despia, etc., etc. I still think this is going to be top tier. Just, you know, they have really good plays going first, going second. They're kind of hard to out. They got really strong interruptions. They're extremely consistent for the most part. I don't know. When I play them, I keep bricking, but it seems like they're just getting so many results. When I play against them, it's often a struggle. Although now maybe it won't be anymore, but I'll get into that later. So next we have Numerons. I still think Numeron is like tier 1.5. I think Numeron is like one of the best decks in the game for sure. Numeron is just crazy. It's going to be even better now with Floowandereeze gone, because Numeron might have struggled a little bit at outing Floowandereeze boards, depending on what they had in hand, of course. But yeah, I think Numeron is still really strong. I think going second format is going to be even stronger now. I know, like, last format, I decided to be more of a board breaker with Dinos, and it was doing really well for me in Platinum. But in Diamond, not so much, because there was so much Floowandereeze going around and barrier statues going around. But with that being out of the format, I think tier 2, well, I mean, going second decks are going to be a lot better. So maybe this is even better than this, but I think tier 1.5 is fair. I don't think we should put Numeron in tier 1. They can brick, they can, you know, it's not like the most consistent deck or anything like that, and sometimes it just doesn't work if you do nothing. So I think tier 1.5 is pretty fair. We have Alistair here. This is for the Alistair Invoked Dogmatica Shaddoll type beat. I mean, I don't even know where we would put this anymore, to be honest. Like, it's still a good deck. Like, realistically, it can't be anything less than tier 3. It just doesn't see play because people would rather play a branded fusion of Shaddolls when they play it. And even then, when they play branded, they usually just want to play regular branded anyway. So I'm gonna put it here. I think this is fair for this. Honestly, it could probably be tier 2, but I'll just put it here, even because it sees no play. Now Dinos. Whoo! What did I put Dinos last? Like tier 3 or something? Dude, with no barrier statue, I feel like Dinos going second at least, probably tier 2 as well. Probably just above here. I'm not gonna put them in 1.5. I think that would be dishonest, but I'm feeling Dinos again this format. At least after the ban list hits, I'm feeling Dinos, man. I think they're gonna be really good. Yeah, about even with Floowandereeze, I would say. About even with Floowandereeze. Obviously, they're pretty bricky, but so is Floowandereeze. And going second, I mean, they're just really, really good, right? That extra card helps Dinos a lot. I've been enjoying playing going second Dinos recently. Feel like that's kind of the way to play right now. Next, we have zombies, Ballardrock, that type of stuff. Now, that's kind of weird. Zombie World Eldritch was especially good in the last format because Zombie World completely shuts down Floowandereeze. So if you can't shut down Floowandereeze with the zombies, well, you can. There's just not going to be as prevalent. I still think it's going to be really good. Maybe not as good as I put it last time. And when I say Zombie World, I mostly mean Zombie World Eldritch, by the way. I think Zombie World is probably like, it's either tier 1.5 or tier 2. I'm gonna put it like top of tier 2 for now. Now we have the Adamancipators. Adamancipators are a lot better than I gave them credit for, I think, in the last tier list. They're still quite good. They still do like crazy things, and even going second, sometimes they can play through quite a bit of interruption. So I think it'd be safe for me to put them, instead of, like, I think last time I put them in Rogue, I think it'd be safe for me to put them like maybe top of tier 3. Or yeah, I think top of tier 3 is fair. Maybe even bottom of tier 2, but at least top of tier 3 I think is fair for Adamancipators. Next we have Blue Eyes. Now Blue Eyes players, I still think you're playable. with the branded Blue Eyes stuff. I still think it's playable. I still think you can get good results with it. So I think Blue Eyes and playable, it still applies, same as last time. For the next one, we have Sword Soul. Sword Soul is weird for me. I feel like Sword Soul with no Fluanderies going around is low-key, like, well, with no barrier statue at least going around, low-key top tier. Like, low-key, I don't think this deck is bad at all. I think this deck is still really, really solid. Only issue is maybe going second could be kind of rough sometimes. Because if you're playing against, well, it's kind of iffy. I'll put it like a top of tier 1.5. I feel like that's fair for Sword Soul. I'm just kind of like iffy on it. I'm not exactly sure because it doesn't set up nearly as much as it used to without Hulk. Of course, you can play my one-card combo with Torgai, but that deck also is very susceptible to hand traps. So I feel like top of tier 1.5 is fair for Sword Soul. Still a really, really strong deck. One of the best in the game for sure. Next we have Thunder Dragon, and I mostly mean Thunder Dragon Despia here. And I think this is like a tier 2 deck. Like Thunder Dragon Despia is really solid. Really, really good. Only thing is like it's kind of bricky and definitely not as good as just like pure Despia. So, well, branded Despia. So I feel like Thunder Dragons, like in tier 2, is a fair spot for them. They're still really good and can definitely get you to Diamond 1, no problem. Drytron. I'm going to put Drytron in Rogue. Last time I put Drytron in just playable, but I've seen a couple of Drytron players, and while their deck is not like nearly as impressive as it used to be, and a lot more fragile, it's still really, really, really solid. So I think Rogue tier for it is really fair. Next we have Eldritch. Now, I'm not going to lie, dude. I think Eldritch low-key kind of dancing around here right now. Now we're going to see a lot more Eldritch since the statue is banned. People are going to want to go back to their Floodgate Heaven. And I'm not sure if they're top tier, but I'm kind of feeling it. Although, I think I'm going to put them top of tier 1.5. I feel like Eldritch maybe a little bit better than Sword Soul, arguably. Sometimes it's the complete opposite, like depending who goes first, of course. So I'd say realistically they're probably about even. Eldritch and Sword Soul probably about even, actually. But yeah, I'm going to say I think that's a pretty fair place to put them. Let me just move my mic a bit. So I just realized I was like here in the screen. Let me just center myself a little bit here. Next we have Kairyushin. I think I put Kairyushin in 1.5 last time. And honestly, I think this deck fell out of favor a little bit. Still going to get good results with it. I just don't think it's like tier 1.5 anymore. Perhaps I would put it like yeah, around here I think would be a good spot for it. It's a somewhat bricky deck. Very, very easy to stop, like Imperm. If they try to special summon out the Kairyushin, you just Imperm the Jellyfish and call it a day. Jellyfish can't negate trap cards, so you know it's not exactly as good as I thought it was. It's still really good, really solid. Will get you to Diamond 1, as I said, but like every deck on this list, like last time, is able to get you to Diamond 1, including Blue Eyes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not too sure that it's as good as I was giving it credit for. Now people are a lot more prepared for it and know how the deck works a lot better because it was everywhere for a while. Endymion is good. Endymion kind of goes crazy. You get free wins off Endymion because people just don't want to watch you play, kind of similar to Adamantipator. Endymion is kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. Very susceptible to board breakers, but they do set up quite a few negates. So, kind of mixed on this one. I would either put it like at maybe, this is a tough one. It's either like at bottom of tier 2 or top of tier 3. I'll put it at bottom of tier 2 just because I feel like Endymion, yeah, it's kind of crazy when it does its thing, and you'll get a lot of free wins from it. Like even more than Adamantipator's, I think you'll get some free wins off of Endymion just of people not wanting to watch you play. Next we have Salamangreat. I think Salamangreat is safely even I would say like under Adamantipator's, maybe just over actually. Never mind. Yeah, just over because they're a lot more consistent. They're not as explosive, but they are more consistent. They're also just not that scary though. Like the shit they set up is just not that scary. I think they're better than Rogue, but like I wouldn't put them over tier 3 personally. I think tier 3 is a fair spot for our Salamangreats here. Next we have Heroes. Now last list I put Heroes on Rogue. And honestly, I just feel like that's where they belong. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they go much higher than Rogue, at least for now. And maybe there's hero players that disagree with me that can tell me all about it. But at the moment, I don't think Heroes are much more than Rogue. Next, we have Life Twin. Now, Life Twin is still great. Life Twin is still fantastic. Very reliant on their starters, so they can get stopped very easily. And there's a lot of hand traps in the format in general. I still think they're really good. Probably right above Dinos, I would say. but under zombies. I feel like they're tier 2. Safely tier 2. Safely tier 2 for me. Next, we have Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. When I put Lyrilusc, it means Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. And without the barrier statue, they kind of lose this advantage of being able to play under barrier statue that made them like kind of a threat last format. But they're still, on their own merits, a really, really strong deck. Probably right above Dinos, to be honest. Probably right above Dinos. Their boards are pretty insane, pretty terrifying. And they combo off like crazy, right? Like they have so many extenders, so many ways to keep playing. They can play through multiple interruptions. So yeah, I would say Lyrilusc right here. Pretty good spot for it. Now Phantom Knights, with usually like Phantom Knights, you know, you play it with the Burning Abyss and stuff. I have not been seeing much of this deck at all. But it's still like what it sets up usually is like DPE with Adventure Engine stuff. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's put it like at top of tier 3 for now. Top of tier 3. It's still good. Like I said, every deck in this list can get you to Diamond 1, especially Penguins, who are goated with the sauce. Next we have Sky Strikers here. Sky Strikers, they just keep getting better and better. I've been seeing a lot of Sky Striker recently. I think Sky Striker is like around the same tier. I'm putting a lot of cards in tier 2 though. I might have to adjust this a little bit. Give me a second. First off, if Zombie World Eldritch is probably actually tier 1.5 now that I think about it, because Eldritch is tier 1.5. Zombie World Eldritch is just like a really, really strong variant, arguably equally as strong. Yeah, Sky Strikers, I feel like they're tier 2 as well, though. I know we're getting a lot of cards in tier 2, a lot of decks in tier 2, but I feel like that's the case for the format right now. I feel like I'm just not sure if I think Sky Strikers or Life Twins are better. They're both such similar decks. I think I'd give the edge a little bit to Sky Strikers, because just having all those amazing spells makes it so easy to like bait out negates going second on top of having hand traps. So I feel like Sky Strikers has a bit of a better ability at breaking boards, whereas Life Twins is more like it's kind of like incrementally popping, getting advantage slowly, which is still really, really solid. And they get to play a lot of hand traps as well. But I think Sky Striker kind of ekes it out for me. I might be wrong about this, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Next we have Tri-Brigade, and just regular ass Tri-Brigade or Zoo Tri-Brigade, whatever. I think it's still really friggin' good, man. I still think it's pretty amazing. I think tier 1.5 is a pretty fair spot for it. The one thing that sucks about this deck is it's somewhat like very susceptible to hand traps. But yeah, I don't know. When I see it in action, the advantage it's generating, everything it gets to do, it's kind of scary. It can set up some really good boards that are like, they seem not that impressive, but then when you play against them, it's like, oh shit, okay. So I don't know. And plus you can play them now with branded stuff too. Like there's the, like I didn't even know this was a thing, but there's a branded Tri-Brigade, which is also really solid. So maybe bottom of tier 1.5 for me. Dragon Link, top tier. I think Dragon Link is absolutely top tier, dude. There's just no way it isn't. I mean, the combos are too crazy. That's all there is to it. The combos are too crazy. And you know what? I think I'm going to put Pure Eldritch in top tier as well. I think this is your trifecta you're looking at right now. You're looking at this like deck that can go first and second and just kind of has really crazy interruptions and really, really good consistency and recursion. Then you're looking at this deck that has less recursion, but like much more explosive plays and is just like a go first combo deck. If you go second, you can still play through interruptions, but not as well as like branded. And you have Eldritch, which is just like just straight up just go first, set cards, do your thing, activate Floodgate, win the game, you know? I'm not a fan of this deck, but I think it'd be kind of dishonest to not put it in top tier right now. I think it's really, really solid right now with all the Floodgates they have access to. Next, we have Scareclaw. This is a new contender in the list, and one of the big reasons I wanted to make this list. But before I put Scareclaw on the list, I do want to adjust some things here. Like, I feel like Endymion is really just top of tier 3. Yeah, looking at this, everything looks good. It's just going to be a really long pyramid, because I want to put Scareclaw at the top of... Whoa. Oh, my goodness. They're not letting me do it. Okay, let's do it this way. Hey, Scareclaw. Top of tier 2 for me. I think Scareclaw is a very, very real deck. In ways, Scareclaw is very similar to Salamangreat, you know. It's got a really good searcher link one, searches out your field spell searches out a monster. One of the things I like about Scareclaw though is it doesn't use any like normal summon effects really, or it doesn't have to. So you can easily slip the Adventure Engine in here. It has really good plays with the link monsters. Like you can do the not the access code, I mean the code breaker stuff. You can use code breaker 0 day to like get, I think off of 2 monsters you end up with like 5 link materials or something like that, something crazy like that, maybe 6 materials. So it's a really good deck. Honestly, such a sick deck. A lot of ways to play. You can make a Baron pretty easily. If you want to play Visa Starfrost, it gets even easier, although it is kind of a brick. I just think this deck has a really good place in the meta right now, and it's kind of hard to interrupt sometimes because, yeah, they can Ash your field spell, but if you have the extenders in hand, they're not stopping much. Their boss monster, Tryhard, is not that scary, but you know, it will single-handedly win some games. Like Umi Control literally can't play against Tryhard, but to be fair, a lot of decks can just easily out Tryhard. It's kind of a wannabe towers, but it's cool. It's still a really good deck in my opinion. I think you shouldn't sleep on this one. You know, don't sleep on this one. It's really good. It's over expensive. It's way too expensive, but it's really good, really fun to play. And yeah, overall, this would be my list. I think the next format that's going to be upcoming is going to be still a lot of fun. Obviously, Eldritch is still going to be great, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. At least we don't have Eldritch being great and Floowandereeze being great, you know? So, I mean, to be fair, every deck on here is somewhat great. So, yeah, that's my list. Let me know what you think in the comments. Huge shout out to my UCT tier members. That would be Raptor, Bongerman for 20, Dad Dude Joey, Hoodaman Me, Right Host, and our newest member. Huge shout out to Brett Webster. Thank you so much for becoming the 6th UCT tier member. Huge shout out as well to the people in baby tier, mist tier over on Twitch. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. And that's it for me. I gotta go. Okay, peace.